Yo, what's up people, welcome back to the second series of eggless Japanese cheesecake. Hi. Now in the first episode, we have made the substitute for our egg whites, which is an aquafaba, but I'm facing one problem. We don't know the substitute for our egg yolks. Now in the traditional Japanese cheesecake, what you do, you separate the egg whites and the egg yolks. From the egg whites, you make a meringue, and from the egg yolk is used to mix with the flour, butter, milk, cream cheese, where the egg yolk is work as an emulsifier agent and you make a thick batter. And from that thick cake batter, you mix with the meringue to form the Japanese cheesecake, a jiggly one. So now I'm going to the Nature's Basket to get that egg yolk substitute, which will work as an emulsifier agent. Let's see if we get. And getting those ingredients during the lockdown period, it's a bit challenging.
Too many thoughts on my mind, I can't sleep at night, so I just keep writing. I don't even
Alright guys, now this is our traditional Japanese cheesecake recipe. Traditional, the one which is made with the egg. So flour is 45 grams, cornstarch is 15 grams, egg yolk is 90 grams, milk 75, butter 45, cheese is 180 grams. It's egg whites will be 120 grams, sugar will be 140 grams, cream of tartar or xanthan gum totally up to you, optional 0.5 grams, vanilla 10 ml, and lemon just 1 to 2 grams totally up to you. And in case if you're wondering that how I make my own recipe, you know, this is how I make. Like, I write all the ingredients that you require to make a cheesecake, and then I write all the measurements which I get from the social medias. Like, this is from the Craft Passion recipe, this is a tasty recipe, this is a chef Vinesh Johnny recipe, he's a great chef. And then after this, I just start comparing the ratio. If you see the 1550 and 2060, if you see the ratio is 1:3. So in simple words, the bakery, it's all about ratio. If you understand the ratio, then you can make any recipe. Just you should know the ratio, that's it. So this is a traditional Japanese cheesecake recipe made with the egg one. Now for the substitute, for the egg yolk and the egg white, we have the egg yolk substitute and the egg white substitute. Now this is a super aquafaba which is made by me. Now this is not a normal aquafaba which you see. This is a super aquafaba. If you want to learn how to make this, then you have to watch my first video on the R.N.D Japanese cheesecake part 1. I will put the link in the description box below. And to make this egg yolk substitute, you have to follow this recipe. So we are using a Bob's Red Mill, and you have to follow this recipe. For one egg yolk, combine 1.5 teaspoon of egg replacer with 1 tablespoon of water. So according to the recipe, so total is 90 gram. Now if you see the egg yolk is 90 gram, so our replacer will be a 90 gram approx. So I use that logic. So today we are going to do total 2 experiments over here. Total 2 experiments. Now keep the cream of tartar, vanilla and lemon zest aside. We just have to focus on this ingredient. Now in the first experiment, we are going to keep flour, cornstarch, egg yolk, milk, butter, cheese, and instead of egg whites, we are going to replace it with the super aquafaba. So here is the super aquafaba. So we are going to replace it with the super aquafaba and the sugar. So egg yolk and super aquafaba in the first experiment. Okay. So in the second experiment, what we are going to do, instead of the egg yolk, we will replace it with the egg replacer, and instead of the super aquafaba we will replace with the egg whites. Now I know many of you will like, why I am doing this experiment, after having the substitute of the egg yolks and egg white, why I am not just following the recipe. The first reason is that this is an R&D video, research and development. This is how you create your own recipe. This is how the experiment should be done. And the second is that by doing this experiment, at least you will come to know that is there any problem with an aquafaba or is there any problem with the egg yolk substitute. Also guys, I just forgot to mention one thing, that cream cheese is 180, which we are not using for now because it is just an experiment. So if you compare everything, the cream cheese is the most expensive one, and I don't want the wastage at this lockdown period, so less wastage for now. And alright, let's start with our experiment number 1. Just melt the butter and then you will add some milk into it. After that you will sieve some flour and the cornstarch into it, and then you will give a good mix till it become a thick paste. After it become a thick paste, just cool it down slightly, and then you will add your egg yolks into your batter. Or else if you add when it's hot, then your egg yolk will start cooking and then it will taste like an eggy, which you don't want. Then after that you will make an eggless meringue from the aquafaba, from the super aquafaba, and then once it become a light and fluffy, you have to add the sugar into it till it become a stiff cake. Once your meringue become a stiff cake, you will mix your meringue into your thin cake batter. You have to take all the meringue and mix it properly. So now let's start with our experiment number 2. The procedure is totally the same. Just melt the butter, then add the milk into it. Then after that you will add the 90 grams of egg yolk replacer, and then you have to just mix it properly on the double boiler. And after that, I end up with this. I know this look very horrible. I didn't even add the flour into it, so we will make a fresh one. Experiment number 2. Melt the butter, add milk into it, and then instead of adding 90 grams we will add half tablespoon of egg replacer into it, and sieve some flour and the cornstarch into it, and just give it a good stir, good mix until it become a thick paste. Now the batter is now thick because we are not adding the egg yolk into it. Now this batter has become so thick that it's become very difficult for me to mix with the meringue. So I'm using a hand mixer so that I can mix the meringue properly into this thick batter. Now this meringue is made with an egg whites, not with an aquafaba. Alright guys, so results are here. The one which is made up of egg whites has baked only for 1 hour, but the one which is made up of the aquafaba has baked more than 2 hours. If you see, the egg white one is more jiggly, whereas the aquafaba, it's quite dense and is not even jiggling also. Maybe because of adding egg yolk, the batter was too runny, or maybe because of super aquafaba.